Hello guys, I'm gonna show something very simple but can be a headache in Blender for the ones that doesn't know that. So here in 3D Max, when we have the material here in one object, if we go to edit mode and we try to uh, move here face or edges or vertices, we will distort uh, the textures on it, right? In order to avoid this, we use a modifier called UVW map, and we normally in argvis we put normally in box, right? And then here we go to edit poly, and then we move around and we avoid things to get distorted, right? Because once you go back, the textures are preserved, right? We miss this a bit in Blender because here in Blender, what happened is normally once we applied a material, let's say this guy, like a concrete, here in Blender, if we if we decide to if we decide to move these guys, we will see the same effect, like it would distort everything, right? Like in Max by the default. But we don't have the modifier here, UVW map, like in 3D Max. What we do normally here is we use one approach which is similar to this approach here. Let's say, let's put an edit point on top of it, collapse everything. Right, we have these, which means preserve UV, you see, and then the UV is kind of preserved, right? If we copy this guy, the texture will be preserved, something like that, right? But in this case, this guy, as soon as we extrude, if we extrude it, we start to lose this guy. That's why we normally put UVW on top of it, so we don't lose this, right? Here in Blender, what happened is we have here at the right side, at top, we have these options here, right? And normally these options goes like this, right? But if you put them on, right, as soon as you move, it will preserve the UVW. You see, if you select everything and then you copy around, it will preserve the UVW the same way as we have in Max, or similar way, right? Similar way. If you go here in extrude, you will still get some preserved, right? Which doesn't happen with in Max with the preserve UV. If you go here, extrude, you still have something going on. But if you go too fancy, you will lose your UVW. So you have to select the faces, press U, unwrap them, right? But that's the way you can move your vertices around and not losing that much of your texture, right? That's similar of what you get here. If you try to move your vertex here with the preserve UV with it on, that's the same thing that's gonna happen, right? So if you are looking for these two in Blender, just make sure that you have these two options connected. and that's all.